Robert Wolf here, asset coach and tax strategist, CEO and founder of Terra Firma Business and Financial Consultants. What I thought I'd do today with this video is I've been asked a lot of times about the IRS and being audited, and here's one of the dynamics about being a business owner and really an individual taxpayer. We all want to save money on taxes, right? So we're here at this part of the dichotomy and say, oh, I want to save money on taxes. I'm paying too much. Show me how to save more money on taxes. And then when you show somebody how to save money on taxes, they're like, oh, I'm scared. Am I going to get audited? I've never heard of this stuff. Well, of course you haven't heard of this stuff. This is why you're complaining about paying too much in taxes. Your current tax team is not versed and specialized in other areas of the tax code that you need. The wealthy have tax teams, plain and simple. And a lot of times us as business owners, the moment we hire our CPA or our bookkeeper, we're like, oh, check that box. We're done. And quite honestly, a lot of business owners outgrow their CPA or bookkeeper within the first 3 years of business. And a lot of times we keep our CPAs for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and we expect different results, but we're not making any changes. And so the key here and the goal for this video is to kind of give a little more education. We do tons of education. Check out all our other videos that we have. Go to our YouTube channel if you're not watching this on our YouTube channel. I'm not sure how you're watching this, but at the end of the day, you need to be in control of your business. And if you're not happy and satisfied with your taxes and paying your fair share, that's your fault. This is your business. It's not your CPA's, it's not your tax professional, it's your business. You need to take control. Well, Bob, I don't know where to start. This is a great place to start, right here. Watching our videos, getting educated and understanding. Reach out to us, we'll help you out. So I want to save money on taxes, but I'm scared about an audit. Well, the only way that we can bring the two dichotomies and the ends of the spectrum together is through clarity. And what do we do to provide clarity? Education. And that's the point of this video. So one of the things I'm going to do is in this video is just let's talk about the IRS. Yeah, high five. We love to talk about the IRS. I woke up this morning thinking, gee, would be great to spend time talking about the IRS. Well, great. Your thought is come true. So I'm gonna minimize my screen here. And right here, we're right at the IRS website, okay? And the reason why I bring up their website is because it's public. Go Google IRS. Go to irs.gov. I mean, it's there. It's public. They're not hiding, right? There's no misinformation or secret black box. No, go online. They're there. They're a public entity. They work for us as taxpayers. Now, a lot of times the feeling is reversed that we work for them, but the reality is that we're an asset. And let's talk about the basics. Let me go back to talking about the basics. Take a few steps back. The IRS is your partner, your business partner. Now, a lot of people think of that like, well, yeah, they suck as a partner. That may be true. But if you look at it from this perspective, let's do a little more clarity here. If you think about it from this perspective, what's the whole point of the IRS? To communicate taxation and to collect taxes, okay? So they're in the business of collections. Plain and simple. Well, who are they collecting for? I'm not happy with that. Who are they collecting for? Well, the U.S. Treasury Department, which is the United States government. The United States government is a business. It's a business for you and I as individual taxpayers. Yes, I know today they feel like the reverse is that they feel like they're the boss, but the reality is you and I are the boss. You and I are the boss. We are the taxpayers. But here is the key. As a voter, the government needs revenue. How do they generate revenue? Tax revenue, income taxes, payroll taxes, corporate taxes, excise taxes. And I can go down the list if you want me to, but I'll spare you so we don't start crying on this call. So the key here is that the IRS collects the taxes. They're there to communicate what Congress creates as law. Congress creates law. The IRS is there. The Treasury Department is there to say, okay, how do we interpret that law to create taxes, to collect taxes, and enforce taxes? Okay, so that revenue pays for the government. Now, when the government doesn't get enough revenue, what do they have to do? Borrow money. Well, that's a liability. They're collecting revenue, so that's an asset. Who are they collecting revenue from? What assets? Us, individual taxpayers, businesses. Assets create income. Income is taxable. Therefore, the IRS has assets, you and I as taxpayers, that they collect. When they borrow money, it's a debt, it's a liability. Okay? When they print money, it also is a liability. It's not an asset, it's a liability. It adds to inflation, which is a liability. It changes the cost of goods sold, which we're experiencing now. Okay? So their only choice of revenue is increased tax revenue. So they invest in you and I as the business owner, as a business partner, by giving us tax deductions, tax incentives, tax credits, tax rebates. 4 different types of tax savings abilities that are sprinkled all over the tax code as you as an individual taxpayer and as you as the business owner. Okay? Now, business owners have the ability to utilize those 4 areas in a greater standpoint than an individual taxpayer, because if you and I, as business owners, have to pay less taxes, that means we have more cash flow. And if you and I have more cash flow, we can take that money and put it back into our business. Well, why is it set up that way? Because the IRS, the government, knows that our business is our baby. It's our livelihood. We're addicted to our business. And they know if we have more cash flow, we put it into our business to grow our business. Now, if our business grows and you and I as a business owner just don't have the time to do all the tasks, there's only so much time in the day, I can't do more than 24 hours, you have to hire employees. The employees duplicate you. You have a system and process in place, and you, Mr. and Mrs. Employee, you got to do this. You, Mr. and Mrs. Employee, you got to do this. And if you guys are doing that, then I don't have to, and therefore the business can run. But you have to pay them a salary, W-2 income, which is what? Income taxed and payroll taxed and Social Security taxed and Medicare taxed, right? And that's what allows the government to run. Very simple. Very simple model. So now you start a business that creates cash flow. From what? From an asset. What's your asset? Your service or product. You sell a service or product, a consumer purchases it, it generates cash flow, your expenses, your price equal a profit, the profit and loss statement. Okay? And then all of a sudden, you take your own W-2, you have profit at the end of the year, you flow that profit to you as an individual taxpayer, and then you pay taxes on that. That's what we're complaining about. I'm paying too much taxes. How do I do that? How do I minimize that? And that's the area of the tax code we're talking about. The tax code is expansive, and that's what we're going to talk about here. I'm going to minimize my screen again. And here, the IRS tax code, being on the public web, you have access to it. And here is one way that they communicate to us, besides just the tax law and code, is through publications. Well, what's a publication? I don't know. When you go get a magazine, that's a publication, isn't it? And what's that magazine communicate to you? Whatever that topic of that magazine communicates. These publications communicate the IRS and how the IRS speaks to you and I. They give us guidelines. Now, you and I aren't going to sit here and read the publication. Why? Because that's why we have tax people. Again, you hire a tax person. That's their service. They charge you and you pay them. And therefore, you get a deduction as a business owner for that service. Okay? Now, look at this. Publication 3, 15, they have them in multiple languages. 51, 79, what are all these? But look how many there are. Look at that. It just keeps going and going. So no one can say, I don't know. Oh, you can't say that. It's all right here. This is the IRS communicating everything to you. Highlights of the Job Creation and Work Assistance Act of 2002. Well, I'm not going to go read that. Well, then guess what? Hire somebody to. Okay? Hire somebody to. So here's the interesting thing. Oops, sorry about that. So here's the interesting thing. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you right here. Move this all the way here. All right. I'm going to show you publication 17. Your federal income tax. Ladies and gentlemen, publication 17, your federal income tax. Okay? For individuals. For you as an individual. Okay? Look how many pages this is. This is 140 pages. Did you see that? 140 pages? That is a lot of pages, isn't it? Well, guess what? There's 140 of them. What are they going to communicate to us? Well, let's increase the size here and let's see what they're going to tell us. Okay, well, income tax return, how to file, income tax adjustments, standard deductions. What else are they going to show us here? Let's scroll over here. Let's see here, figuring your taxes and non-refundable and fundable credits. Oh, credits. Remember, I talked about that child tax credit, deductions, credits, rebates, incentives, right? Here's a credit. Tax tables, computation worksheet, tax rate schedules. They give you everything right here, right? There's no secret here, okay? And you can go through 140 pages and read all of this, or you can hire somebody. Well, let's dive into something more specific. Oh, the tax guide for a business. These are individuals who are C Corp, or sorry, Schedule C. They're on the individual tax code. Now there's an additional, so you're an individual taxpayer right here, right? The 1040 for individuals. Now Schedule C is on the 1040. This is for you filing a Schedule C. And they give you all the things that you can deduct as filing, paying tax, accounting methods. What is disposition, what's business credits, kinds of incomes, right? It gives you everything. What are your business, oh, let's increase the size here. This is very important. They tell you business expenses, bad debts, car, truck expenses, depreciation, employees pay, insurance, interest, legal, and this professional fees. Your tax professional is a professional fee. Pension plans, which is retirement, rent expense, taxes, travel meals, business use of your home, other expenses you can deduct, expenses you cannot deduct. Oh, by the way, here we go. Figuring a net profit or losses, net operating loss. What's that look like? Self-employment tax, your rights. Look at this. But it's 54 pages, right? Now, here's the interesting thing. Taxable and non-taxable income. They explain what that is. They explain as a corporation. Look at that. Only 27 pages. Only 27 pages. Isn't that interesting? Look at that. Income and deductions and special cost of doing business, related persons, corporate preferences, dividend. Now, this is a C Corp. Okay, typically this is going to be focused on the C Corp. Could be an S Corp as well, but most of the time this is C. But you got net operating loss, at-risk limits, passive activity limits, capital losses, below market loans, extra dividend, right? It goes through all this, right? They're not hiding anything here. How about the next publication, 5? Oh, partnerships, the other form of business that's out there. Oh, it's only 23 pages. Interesting. Okay, so let me look at this. Let me look at partnerships as we go through this. How to form in a partnership, terminating of partners, exclusion rules, returns, distributions, the basis, right? Gives you everything, right? There's no secret here. Let me go to here first. Here's the other type. Taxation of limited liability company. This is a different type of business entity. Look at this. 7 pages. 7 pages, right? Okay, let's go. What's a business expense? Well, it talks through it. What's a deductible business expense? Employee pays are rent expense, interest, tax, insurance, costs you can deduct to capitalize, amortization, depletion, business bad debts, other expenses. It's all right here in 57 pages. What's this one here? Oh, the basis of an asset. What's the basis or your principle of your asset, of your business? Now, the reason why I bring this up is that in the individual taxpayer, the tax code's 140 pages. That's not the code. That's just explanation of what you need to do to file your taxes and what things are. 140 pages. And then Small Business Guide was only 54 pages. So kind of seems like the individual tax code's a lot more complicated than the business tax code, isn't it? So what are you worried about an audit, right? They tell you what a business expense is right here, right? So your cost of doing business is right here. If you want to know what taxable or non-taxable income is as an individual taxpayer, it's here. If you want to know what to do as a corporation, it's only 27 pages. A partnership's only 23 pages. A LLC is only 7 pages. You see what I mean by as a partner? The IRS is giving you access and the ability to it's less complicated to be the business. Now, we think it's more complicated because we have to have a bookkeeper. Well, yeah, they're going to do the financial bookkeeping and the accounting and the balance sheet and the P&Ls and income statements, all this kind of stuff for us, right? And they're going to take that information and they're going to put it in the tax return for the business. But at the end of the day, what's the most complicated? It's not your business. It's your individual, according to the IRS. So let's take a deep breath. And let's understand you're complaining and you're not dissatisfied with the tax liability you're paying. You want to get closer to your fair share. What is that? What number is that? Why don't you already know that? Why hasn't your tax professional already told you what your fair share is? It's not what you're paying in taxes right now, I'll tell you that. But your fear is I'm going to be audited. Now, I'm hoping I've brought this a little bit closer. Now, we may not be here for full clarity, but we may be a little bit closer. Because at the end of the day, your real liability is not your business. If you already hire bookkeepers and professionals to do that, your real liability is your individual. And so how do we get to that fair share? That's what we're going to do. That's how we help, and that's what we bring to the equation, is understanding what that looks like. So hopefully this video was helpful in understanding. This was only what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 publications of that long list you saw. Okay? And now the majority of those publications were for as an individual, not for your business. I showed you the business guide, right? If you have a corporation, partnership, or LLC, and what's a business expense? Those are really the things you need to know. And if you put your corporation, your partnership, your LLC, and your business expense all together combined, it would still be less than the publication 17, which is your individual taxpayer guide. So the IRS is not this big bad wolf, this 800-pound gorilla. Now, there are times where they act like that, but it's our misunderstanding, it's our lack of education and clarity of who they are and what they are that creates that fear. And when we have a CPA or a tax professional that is also scared of them, that fear translates to you. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have your kids with you and something scares you, or you have this feeling of anxiety. Does your child feel that as well? Absolutely. So if you're a tax professional who you see as your professional, who's the adult in this conversation because you have a less of an education on taxes, if they show fear, what are you going to do? You're going to show fear. But my friends, it's about education and understanding. It's about the clarity. And that is what we're trying to bring to the table. So if this was helpful, go ahead and let us know. We'd love to hear from you. If you have questions, reach out to us with your questions. We'd love to hear those questions and dialogue. We don't have all the answers, but I bet you, I'll guarantee we'll look for those answers for you. Okay? That's the key, is understanding the relationships to help you get to that clarity so you can make a good decision without the emotion side of it, but from a business perspective. So once again, my name is Robert Wolf. I'm an asset coach and tax strategist. I'm the CEO and founder of Terra Firma Business and Financial Consultants, and make it a great day.